The big sports news involving San Diego in the last 24 hours is the FBI investigation of USC Associate Head Coach Tony Bland. The FBI obtaining tapes of money being exchanged with recruits. One of those recruits, Foothills Christian forward Taeshon Cherry. Now, as we do every Wednesday, time to welcome Chris Ello for his thoughts. When you hear FBI, you hear college recruit, and you're a college, and he committed from USC. Whoa.
Yeah, hands off.
Yeah.
First of all, I think it's too bad for Taeshon Cherry, and I'm going to take the kid's side for now until proven otherwise. I think that the parents, the people in his family let him down a little bit. I don't know that it's USC or the academic people around him or these colleges, but the recruiting game has become so nasty for these five-star kids that I think a lot of kids wind up getting caught in situations that they don't even have any idea they're getting caught up in. And so I feel bad for Taeshon Cherry, but if you're asking if I was a coach of a college basketball team, I would choose to find another five-star player that's not involved in something that has FBI attached to it.
Considering the Aztecs, they don't really get five-star guys. They get, those lower guys. I think Kawhi was 3 when he came out. But, I mean, this is a guy that could change a program. Do you take a flyer? Because the Aztecs were top 3 with him.
He can change the program for a year. Right? And I'm not really much of a fan of the one-and-done kids. Let them go to Kentucky and Duke. That's fine. I like what the Aztecs have built. I like what Steve Fisher built, and I think Brian Dutcher is going to carry it on. And I don't think you're going to see a lot of those kinds of kids coming here, and that's fine.
Speaking of the Aztecs, they start conference play tonight. They start conference play in Wyoming. Now, are we going to see, I know you're about to tell a story, but are we going to see the team that beat Gonzaga, or are we going to see the team that lost to Cal?
We're going to see a tired team, one way or the other, because playing at 7,220 feet is tough on anybody. Broadcasting up there at Wyoming, I'm like, I can't even get through the first quarter. Right. I'm gasping for air up there. I'd like to see Duke or Kentucky or North Carolina or Ohio State or one of these big, huge schools go play a couple of games at Laramie every year. It's not easy up there. So I'm going to answer and say, I don't know what Aztec team you'll see tonight, but if they win, that's a nice win up there. It's always a good win if you can win in Laramie.
What does that feel like for your lungs at that level when you're up there? Just because you've been that high up there.
It hurts.
It hurts. On Thursday night, we have a top 20 matchup in the Holiday Bowl between Michigan State and Washington State. As a member of the media, you like guys that give great sound bites. Mike Leach is one of those guys. We're going to listen to what he said, and then I want to get your reaction.
Okay.
I kind of would like to have a pet raccoon again, but bouncing around the country, it makes it tough. And then you just there's the time when they hit kind of raccoon teenage years, and it's time for them to head off and into the sunset. But no, it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun, and in some ways, every bit as maintenance free as a dog or a cat.
You would have a hard time convincing your wife to get a pet raccoon versus a dog or a cat.
I don't know. I just have a rim shot ready for Mike Leach. Something to do with locking the raccoon in a shed.
Right.
But I'm not going to use it. Oh, I just did. Sorry.
You went there, didn't you?
Yeah.
Talk about Mike Leach. And, he's a great soundbite, but he's also a pretty good coach. And that game tomorrow, it's a top 20 game, but still there's not the hype surrounding it like there is.
Yeah. I don't feel the buzz. The second straight year for Washington State. And to me, it's another Pac-12 Big Ten matchup. And look, you've already got USC playing Ohio State in one bowl game. You got Washington playing Penn State in another bowl game. So this is like the third Rose Bowl instead of the Holiday Bowl. And I'm calling on the Holiday Bowl to go out and do something to make the Holiday Bowl its own and stand out. And I really think the Holiday Bowl ought to start going after that top Power 5 conference team. Mm-hmm. Not the Power 5, but the Group of 5.
Group of 5.
And like in this year, it'd be Central Florida or Boise State or somebody like that. Let them match up against the Michigan State. I think that's a much more interesting game. Give the quote little guys a chance against the big guys. Pac-12 versus Big Ten. I've seen that over and over for years and years. It doesn't move the needle for me.
Another thing that I noticed, there was the Pinstripe Bowl today, and then there was also the bowl yesterday at Chase Field with UCLA.
Yeah.
At a baseball field. Is this kind of like a hokey thing, or
Foster Farms Bowl? I think is played at the San Francisco Baseball Stadium.
They play games in Wrigley Field. Is this? Come on.
You know what, it's lost its allure a little bit like the NHL outdoor game of the year has kind of lost its allure. It was really fun when it started, but football belongs on a football field. I know one thing, baseball definitely belongs on a baseball field, because it got me thinking of when the Dodgers came to LA and they used to play their first couple of years in the LA Coliseum, and the right field fence was like 850 feet away.
Babe Ruth.
So yeah, baseball did not fit in a football stadium. I don't know that football fits better in a baseball stadium, let's say that.
Well, let's pretend in the future that we get the stadium done here. It's going to take more than a year to build a stadium. So where are they going to play? How about the Holiday Bowl in Petco Park?
Yeah, well, I think Ron Fowler already said he'd be up for doing that once. I mean, it would take a little doing. Look, the USD San Diego State basketball game was at Petco Park a couple of years ago. Everybody's trying fun little stuff to create interest. I think it would be good for a year and then get it back in a football stadium.
Let's talk about the New England Patriots. They always seem to make everybody mad, from the Chargers to the Raiders, to basically anybody that plays them. And now the Steelers are upset because they just signed James Harrison, the guy who basically won them a Super Bowl. Can you speak to the Patriots? Do they do this on purpose just to irk people?
No, they do it because they can. They do it because, first of all, James Harrison, if the Steelers really wanted him so bad, they would have let him play. He only played 40 snaps in 14 games. So the Steelers obviously didn't want him. He didn't want them. The only team in the NFL that can pick up the phone and call a free agent and go, hey, you want to come with us and win a Super Bowl? That's the Patriots. They're just doing what they're able to do. Imagine the Saints or the Chargers or somebody else calling James Harrison, he'd hang up on him. So in this particular instance, I give the Patriots credit for building what they've built and being able to attract a guy like James Harrison to maybe help them.
Junior Seau retired from the Chargers, and then 2 weeks later was with the Patriots. UCLA quarterback Josh Rosen said a thing. They say he might be the top quarterback in the draft. He said, I basically don't want to play for the Browns.
I don't want to be the top quarterback in the draft.
I don't want to be the top quarterback in the draft. And then Sam Darnold, the USC quarterback, who I think is number 2, he said, you know what, I'll play anywhere.
I just want to play.
Yeah. Is Josh Rosen, is this like an Eli Manning situation all over again?
It's the first thing I thought of, to be honest with you. It is the first thing I thought of, that a player trying to hold the NFL hostage and say, here, I will only play in certain places. Look at Josh Rosen, though. He didn't play in his bowl game. They said he had a concussion. Yeah. I think he just sat it out. And I'm not a fan of these kids who sit out bowl games. Look, your teammates help put you in the position you're in. The UCLA players helped Josh Rosen become what he is, which is a top 5 pick. I think Josh Rosen owes it to his teammates to play in a bowl game. So call me a Sam Darnold fan for now.
Okay, so speaking of the Browns, Hugh Jackson, he said last year if they go 1-15, then he's, they're not going to go 1-15, or else he's going to go jump in Lake Erie. We're going to hear what he said today when a reporter questioned him about it. Yes.
Are you really going to jump into the lake?
Heck yeah, I got to.
So when, how?
Well, how, you just jump in. When, that's going to be at my convenience, and hopefully I can get a lot of people to come out. It'd be something that we're going to make special. I don't like to do it for the reason why I'm having to do it, but I have to do on my word, and I just think that's what you do.
Well, the good news is they might not go 1-15. They might go 0-16.
He may not have to do this. In fact, he probably won't have to do this. Right. They're playing at Pittsburgh this week, so the 0-16 is looking pretty assured. But if he does go 1-15, I like what he said about doing it at his convenience, because Lake Erie at this time of year, no good, Hugh Jackson. He better wait a few months.
All right. Well, let's show you what we got tonight on the ASR. We're going to have 15 prep games. That's the Torrey Pines basketball tournament, and then we have a bunch of girls games as well.
And good news for all of those teams,
yes.
I'm not reffing any of those games.
Oh, really?
So they'll all be reffed well. That's good. Good luck to all the kids tonight.
That is good. That's Chris Ello. I'm Rick Willis, and that was it for the KUSI News at 5. The KUSI News is at 6. Stay with us.